confined space rescue. There's an area in there where you can simulate going down in a manhole and bringing somebody out in a confined space area. We have mazes in there that can be moved around in different ways. We can smoke the building up. We can have actual fire in there to heat the building up, to train firefighters how to search for victims in different scenarios. We can also do high-rise training. We can hook our trucks up to the standpipes there and supply water up to upper floors. We can simulate that. We can simulate going up and down stairs, in high rises, and how to deploy hoses and how to rescue people downstairs. So there's just a myriad of things that we can use this building for, as well as research. We can get some of the newest equipment. If we're looking to use a different type of nozzle, we can get them nozzles, a couple of them nozzles, bring them here, test them, put them through, our tests, what we want to see them do, and see how they react to that. So, and that's just one instance. We can do it with air packs, turnout gear, anything that we feel like we want to upgrade to. We can get new equipment, bring it here, and test it and see how it works for us. So it's going to be a great addition for us as well. And so this is the engine bay, or the pumper hall as some people call it. This is where the apparatus will be staged. This is the largest engine bay that we have in the Biloxi Fire Department. It's a little bit larger than say Station 1 because we have the ability to store some equipment here as well that needs to be stored inside. It's really going to be nice. It's state of the art. It has a system where, carcinogens and truck exhaust is a big issue. In this building, it was designed and built to be positive pressure. In other words, there will always be the ability, the building will always be flushing the exhaust out of the engine bay. There's louvers, and then in the cupola up here there are big louvers. There's a fan, a large fan, a very large fan that will come on, and it has the ability to detect CO, carbon monoxide, and when it gets to a level that's not acceptable, the fan will come on automatically and exhaust that CO out of the building. This room over here is our gear storage, gear locker. It's got a bunch of lockers in it to keep the turnout gear away from the exhaust, engine exhaust. Sunlight is a big damage control, a big issue with turnout gear, sunlight. So we have no windows in there. The exhaust cannot get in there. It's sealed up, so the exhaust can't get in there. So that's a new thing that we've started with Station 10. So next we'll have the room. It's our maintenance room where we have the capability to fill air bottles when we go out on. You see us wearing our air packs, and we have special compressors that allow us. That allow us to fill our air bottles that we wear. They're not oxygen; they're air bottles. So we have that. We have extractors, washers and dryers. These are commercial type washers and dryers designed and built specifically for fire departments to remove the carcinogens and the debris and stuff off of our turnout gear after we go to a fire, so it's clean for us to use again. This is a service we used to have to send off to do. Now we have them at this station and Station 1 downtown. So we're slowly getting that capability to provide this level of protection to our firefighters, and we're very excited about it. The next room is the workout room. It's a large workout room, but there again, it's designed to be used when we have training classes going on here with new recruits and stuff. We teach them the proper techniques for doing workout, regiments and things like that. So that's all part of this station. We try to put it all together, and then just our maintenance room there where we'll keep, we have all of our electrical panels and everything like that. So that's pretty much it, except for the front porch. I don't know if you've seen the front porch, but it's a beautiful beautiful front porch. It has the capability for the guys to have outdoor kitchen there. They have water, hot, cold running water, gas line for barbecue grills and stuff, and just kind of like a downtime area for them guys. They'll be able to put some chairs out there and watch the traffic go by, because as this is a busy road, and but as you can see by the construction around here, this is going to be a busy station, and it already is. So we're excited about getting this station online for a number of reasons, not just to be able to provide a better service to the community, but also provide a better ability for our department to train and be able to respond more professionally to the service, to the community. On January 11th, we will have a grand opening here. We invite the public to please come and see this. We will have hamburgers, hot dogs, cold drinks, cake, and Jack will even be here. Jack the fire dog will even be here. And it will allow the opportunity to residents, not just in this area, but all over the city. Please come and see this. It's really impressive to see. It's a lot bigger than it looks here. And we are excited about it, and we want the public to be just as excited about it. So please come out to the grand opening. It'll be a ribbon cutting at 10 o'clock on January the 11th right here at Station 7.
My name is Marcus Boudreau. I'm the new superintendent of the Biloxi Public School District. This is my 18th year with the Biloxi Public Schools. I love Biloxi schools. It's very important to me. My mother was an employee of Biloxi Public Schools and retired from here. My wife is an assistant principal over at Biloxi Junior High School. Our children attend the school system. We have a sophomore at Biloxi High School, an 8th grader at Biloxi Junior High School, and we have a 3rd grader at North Bay Elementary School. So we're well invested in the school system and in this community. We're proud of the school system that we have here in Biloxi. We have a fabulous pre-K program, wonderful elementary schools, and they transition right on up to our upper, junior high school and high school, and everybody has the vision of getting kids successfully graduated and to become successful members of the Biloxi community. We've got a long tradition of excellence here in the Biloxi Public Schools, and we intend to fully continue with that tradition. Our vision here in Biloxi Schools is excellence from all, for all, and we live and breathe that each and every day in every single school. Our staff is second to none. You can walk in and out of these classrooms daily and see nothing but amazing instruction taking place. We have the most diverse student population in the state of Mississippi, and we're proud of the gains that we make with that student population.
My name is Teresa Martin, and I'm the principal of Biloxi High School. This is my 21st year as being an educator. I started my career here in Biloxi as a kindergarten teacher. I've had the opportunity all of these years to work as a teacher and a coach. Most recently, I was the principal at North Bay Elementary, and just prior to that, I was here at Biloxi High School as a teacher and an assistant principal. All of my experiences here at Biloxi High as an assistant principal very much prepared me to be the principal at North Bay Elementary. I love those students, and I love our vision here in the Biloxi Public Schools, and I was able to come back to the high school and see just how that happens all the way from the kindergarten students all the way up through our graduating seniors. It is the very same vision. I believe in it. Excellence from all, for all. My son is a 7th grader at Biloxi Junior High School. He is also a product of Biloxi schools. He started as a kindergartner here, and he will also graduate from Biloxi High School.
This is BTV, Biloxi Television.
I'm Mayor Fofo Gillage. Welcome to our Biloxi.
The word Biloxi means first people in Native American language. The city that bears the Native American moniker certainly lives up to a people striving to be foremost. The territory of Mississippi experienced 3 waves of European exploration and colonization in its early history. Beginning with the Spanish and Hernando de Soto's trek across the region in the 1540s, the coastal Mississippi that would become Biloxi did not experience permanent European settlement until 1699, when French explorers sailing for King Louis XIV landed on an island in the Mississippi Sound. Pierre Le Moyne Sieur d'Iberville and his brother Jean-Baptiste Le Moyne de Bienville, who were seeking the mouth of the Mississippi River, named it Ship Island. It had a natural deep-water harbor that their ships easily anchored in. When these French explorers landed ashore near present-day Deer Island, just south of Biloxi, they claimed the entire region for France, as the Spanish had not yet established any permanent settlement on the Mississippi coast. The French built Fort Maurepas just across from Biloxi in present-day Ocean Springs to secure their holding, a region where Native Americans such as the Biloxi and Choctaw lived or engaged in trade of the plentiful marine resources. These Europeans secured the Gulf Coast by establishing Biloxi as the first capital of this territory in 1699. Later, the French capital would shift eastward to Mobile in 1702, then finally westward to New Orleans in 1718. The Mississippi Territory became an official part of the new United States in 1798, after a brief revolt of coastal citizens under the Republic of West Florida. Mississippi became a state on December 10, 1817, becoming the 20th state of the new country. On the Mississippi Gulf Coast, a rich ethnic blending created a unique culture different from the planter hegemony that had begun to dominate the hinterland and Mississippi River regions of the state. On the coast and in Biloxi, Spanish, French, English, Irish, African, and Native American peoples exchanged goods through a growing shipbuilding industry. One economic endeavor that early defined Biloxi was the tourist trade that resulted in its growth, so much so that officials charted the city in 1838. As early as the 1840s, the Magnolia Hotel welcomed visitors mostly from New Orleans. The city became a destination of people fleeing the heat of that city and the yellow fever pestilence that threatened the health of the entire Southland. Biloxi was known for its salubrious climate and hospitality services. Many summer homes appeared on the Mississippi Sound shoreline as people spent their summers taking in the Gulf breezes, enjoying fresh seafood and the social events of the coast. With a new lighthouse in 1848 guiding ships to Biloxi, the city grew. In April 1861, the American Civil War opened with a volley of cannon shot from the Confederate States of America on Fort Sumter, South Carolina. The Mississippi coast became embroiled in the 4-year conflict, first because the United States government instituted a naval blockade of all coastal regions of the South, and secondly because Ship Island again became an important harbor. The Union forces planned to launch attacks against Pascagoula, Pass Christian, Biloxi, and ultimately New Orleans from its forces stationed at Ship Island. When the American Civil War ended in 1865, the Mississippi coast and Biloxi did not have the physical damage that other areas of the state endured. The tourist trade recovered quickly as Southerners sought normalcy. The Lewis and Nashville Railroad connected New Orleans and Mobile with Biloxi in 1872. Biloxi again capitalized on its maritime and tourist trade. Biloxi entrepreneurs Lazaro Lopez, William K.M. Ducate, James Maycock, William Garnflow, and F.W. Elmer created the first seafood processing factory in Biloxi in 1881, capitalizing on the abundant oyster beds and shrimp in the Mississippi Sound. Beautiful white-winged Biloxi schooners harvested the bountiful seafood of the Sound. The Biloxi schooner became synonymous with success. Several waves of laborers joined the local citizens in harvesting seafood as the industry expanded to meet the demand for succulent oysters and shrimp. Bohemians or Polish workers from Baltimore, Maryland, familiar with the oyster industry, first manned the labor lines, with Louisiana Cajuns and Croatians soon following. Biloxi African-American workers often worked side by side with the other pickers and shuckers, but in some factories they worked on separate lines because of racial prejudices of the times. By the early 1900s, Biloxi was known as the seafood capital of the world. Through the decades, the industry ebbed and flowed with the economy. By the 1970s, Vietnamese immigrants arrived in Biloxi from their war-torn land. Working in the seafood factories and building boats, the Vietnamese became a part of the cultural fabric of the city. Today, many events highlight all of the immigrants' contributions to Biloxi venues, food, and entertainment. A visitor can enjoy good Cajun gumbo, witness a Vietnamese New Year celebration, eat pucheradas, or fried plantains with cream, or attend a fete au dos, all part of the rich offerings of Biloxi. As the seafood industry developed throughout the 20th century, so did the shipbuilding aspect of the seafood trade. Biloxi schooners once graced the waters, while family names such as Kovacevic, Ross, and Fountain became famous with the art of boat building. As technology overcame sail power, Biloxi luggers with their low riding profile and gasoline engines soon replaced the schooner. Along with new technologies in shipbuilding, Biloxi also witnessed the growth of Keesler Air Force Base in early 1941. On donated land from the city, the United States Army created a technical training school named after Second Lieutenant Samuel R. Keesler, Jr., a Mississippian killed in World War I. This facility has grown into one of the largest training bases in the United States, particularly in its state-of-the-art medical facilities. It also is home to the Hurricane Hunters, a squadron that flies into the storms to gauge strength and development. In 1992, dockside gambling became legal in Biloxi. Gambling was historically a part of the coastal history, as the Isle of Capri in the early 20th century symbolized. In the 1990s, gambling establishments first located on small paddle-wheel riverboat-type watercraft, but today the industry displays modern, multi-storied buildings with all of the amenities. As a result of the gambling industry, Biloxi has experienced a renaissance of development. Even after Hurricane Katrina struck the Mississippi coast in 2005 and destroyed much of the gambling establishments, progress has been phenomenal. The Biloxi Public School District has invested $80 million in new schools and upgrades in the past 15 years. The Washington Post highlighted the outstanding curriculum offered by the school district when it declared that Biloxi High School was a top school in preparing students for college. The rebuilding effort after Hurricane Katrina also witnessed the construction of a new Biloxi Visitor Center, the MGM Stadium where the Biloxi Shuckers play baseball along with collegiate teams, a new Biloxi Public Library, and numerous hotels welcoming guests to Biloxi. Historic preservation continues to be important as developers renovated the White House Hotel, once an establishment that welcomed visitors in the early 20th century, into a modern destination point. 6 million visitors come to Biloxi annually since Hurricane Katrina to partake of its amenities. Along Highway 90, new seafood restaurants serve local seafood and highlight the cuisine of the coast. As the 21st century unfolds, Biloxi is primed for further development while retaining its rich history and cultural attractions. Shrimp boats bring in their catch, just as they did over 100 years ago. The blessing of the fleet still occurs every June, and po' boys are still recognized as one of the favorite foods of the city. Now explore the coast and see what Biloxi has to offer. This program is made possible in part by the Mississippi Humanities Council through grants from the Mississippi Development Authority and the National Endowment for the Humanities. Additional funding was provided by the Biloxi Chamber of Commerce, a division of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce.
As you know, it's hurricane season. At some point, you might have to evacuate.
Waiting until a hurricane warning has been issued is not the best time to pick a route. It's time to plan ahead, and that means taking alternate routes north. Everyone cannot evacuate using just Highway 49 north. That's why MDOT has mapped out more than 20 ways to evacuate to the north to get out of the storm's path.
Download the complete hurricane evacuation guide at gomdot.com and plan your way out today.
This is BTV, Biloxi Television.
The sun, an hour above the horizon, is poised like a bloody egg upon a crest of thunderheads. The light has turned copper, in the eye portentous, in the nose sulphurous, smelling of lightning. We have to start teaching ourselves not to be afraid. William Faulkner.
We face a massive task. We lost 6,000 structures in the city. Hundreds of historical homes and landmarks. Entire blocks of neighborhoods were reduced to debris fields. One of the things that I'm most proud of as your mayor is how all of you have dealt with this ordeal. I use the words resolve and resilience when I talk about you. The rest of the nation is using another word. Inspiration.
The excursion is the same when you go looking for your sorrow as when you go looking for your joy. Eudora Welty.
Welcome to Biloxi.
to Biloxi.
Welcome to Biloxi.
Welcome to Biloxi.
Welcome to Biloxi.
Welcome to Biloxi. In 1810, Biloxi's population was counted at just 420. A year later, after a century of French, British, and Spanish rule, Mississippi became the 20th state in the Union, and Biloxi began to grow. As Biloxi became a popular summer resort, the Mississippi Gulf Coast became known as the American Riviera. By mid-century, Biloxi had become the most important of the Gulf Coast's resort towns. Then, in 1861, Mississippi seceded from the United States. The Civil War had begun. After the war, recovery along the Gulf Coast was slow, but picked up momentum with the arrival of the railroad in the 1870s. Tourists began to return, and distant markets were opened up for a burgeoning new industry, seafood. By 1904, Biloxi was known as the seafood capital of the world. With the demand for labor high, Polish, Acadian French, and Slavic workers came to work in Biloxi's seafood industry. As the seafood and timber industries boomed, this rich mix of cultures was joined by Greeks, Irish, Italians, African Americans, and after the late 1970s, Vietnamese. A wide variety of traditions were born of this diversity. Through the decades, many cultural organizations have regularly held celebrations with contests, food, music, and dance. Mardi Gras, the oldest and most popular celebration, began in 1891. It was held sporadically until 1908, when it became an annual event, with the crowning of the first king, d'Iberville, and Queen Ixalib, Biloxi spelled backwards.
I've known Mardi Gras all my life, and we were always getting prepared. And then on Tuesday morning is when all the excitement and fun began. My daddy would get up at the crack of dawn, we'd load his car, and then he would go out to the boat for King d'Iberville Landing. And then, of course, my mother and my sister and I, we were in charge of the maids and the queen.
For many years, the Biloxi Firemen's Parade, now known as the Biloxi Firefighters' Day Parade, was Biloxi's second most popular event. In 1888, with Biloxi's seafood industry thriving, the first schooner races were held. The races, a weekly event, gained national attention and were held until 1933. Overflow crowds cheered from the Biloxi Yacht Club as the White-Winged Queens vied for the winning prize, a keg of beer. From 1922 to 1934, the Biloxi Elks Club sponsored a 4th of July celebration that featured bathing beauty contests and sailing races. Sailing regattas were held throughout the summer, some lasting for several days. As in antebellum days, hotels offered boat excursions up the rivers and to the islands, aboard boats like the Pan American Clipper, and later the catboat Gigi, designed and built by Henry Fountain of Biloxi. In the 1950s, Biloxi eccentric John R. Guillot, known as the Hermit of Deer Island, would row out to meet the excursion boat Sailfish, where he would serenade the tourists on board. Since 1929, the annual blessing of the fleet has been held at the beginning of the shrimping season. As the decorated boats pass in parade, the Catholic priest blesses each one and prays for the safety of the fishermen and for a good catch. And since 1948, the annual deep-sea fishing rodeo has attracted anglers from all over the coast to compete for cash prizes. During the early 20th century, Biloxi continued to grow. Electricity, a street railway system, and telephone service were added. A paved highway was built along the beach, and in 1928, a new seawall was dedicated. More hotels were constructed as tourism increased. After World War II, Biloxi once again became a popular vacation destination. Keesler Army Airfield had survived demobilization to become Keesler Air Force Base, and as other bases closed, Keesler's population grew. Engineers transformed Highway 90 into a 4-lane highway, and at the same time, sand was pumped from the Sound to form a 300-foot sloping beach as a buffer to the seawall. The white sand beach quickly became a tourist attraction for those coming in droves on the new superhighway. New motels, restaurants, and nightclubs sprang up along the beachfront.
My most vivid memory of coming down that beach highway was on a Saturday night, and it was sheer lights. It was the Broadway of Mississippi. There were so many places. Music abounded here on the coast.
Two well-known spots were Gus Stevens' Seafood Restaurant and Lounge and the Cabana Beach Motel's Fiesta Lounge. Stevens booked big-name entertainers. and some entertainers who were relatively unknown at the time.
The first star that I really remember was Dave Gardner. He was sort of the Southern Lenny Bruce. He, in his heyday, would draw more people into the nightclub than any other performer. There was standing room only when Dave performed. There were others like Mamie Van Doren and Jerry Van Dyke and Jane Mansfield, of course, and then Gene Warren, the Four Mints. So there are a lot of people that actually started on the coast here. There are many singing groups that began with Dad. Tex Ritter sang at Dad's restaurant, Mickey Gilley, Elvis Presley. Actually, Dad met him and told him he would never make it in the business.
Size Place, an inland nightclub popular with the locals, brought in Hank Williams Sr., the just-beginning Elvis Presley, and Jerry Lee Lewis, who, in keeping with his onstage style, practically tore up the piano. During this time, Jimmy Love Jr. began marketing his White House and Buena Vista hotels as potential convention centers. Others followed his lead, and Biloxi became a convention destination, as well as a mecca for tourists. Then, in 1969, Hurricane Camille wrought destruction on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. In the wake of the storm, the people picked themselves up and began to rebuild. Biloxi's economy recovered slowly until 1992, when the state of Mississippi legalized dockside gaming, igniting the biggest economic boom in Biloxi's history. Then, in August 2005, Hurricane Katrina brought all of that to a standstill. Katrina hit the Mississippi Gulf Coast with high winds, heavy rains, and a 26.5-foot storm surge, causing massive damage to the area and killing 53 people. 5,000 businesses and homes in Biloxi were destroyed. As they had throughout history, the people of Biloxi would gather the strength to rebuild. The Beau Rivage reopened just 1 year to the day after Katrina. Today, Biloxi is once again a major vacation destination, offering a wealth of outdoor activities, outstanding seafood, and casino gambling.
Welcome to Biloxi.
This is BTV, Biloxi Television.
Happy birthday to our beloved Biloxi. 320 years. It's amazing. And will be amazing for the next 320 years.
Happy birthday, Biloxi, on your 320th anniversary.
Good morning, Biloxi, from Keesler Air Force Base, and happy 320th birthday. You look fantastic for 320. Thank you, City of Biloxi, for a great partnership for nearly 78 years.
Happy birthday, Biloxi.
Hey Biloxi, this is Adele Lyons, CEO of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce. I'm so happy you have a 320th birthday coming up on February the 13th. Congratulations on 320.
Happy birthday, City of Biloxi, from the Coastwide Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Committee.
From all of us at the Biloxi Shuckers, happy 320th, Biloxi.
Happy birthday, Biloxi.
I'm Rob Calhoun, CEO of Marriott Health Biloxi, and we just want to say,
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi!
Happy 320th birthday to my hometown of Biloxi, one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi!
From all of us here at La Bakery, we say,
Happy 320th, Biloxi!
Happy birthday, Biloxi, 320 years! Happy birthday!
On behalf of the Salvation Army Kroc Center,
Happy 320th, Biloxi!
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi. Although I'm a transplant from the north, there's no place I'd rather call home than Biloxi, Mississippi.
Chevis Sweatman, President of People's Bank, and I'd like to welcome everybody here and thank Biloxi on its 320th birthday.
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi, from the Point.
Hi, this is Daria Pizzetta. The Biloxi Bay Chamber of Commerce honored me in 2014 as a Biloxian made good. I'm coming to you from my adopted city, New York, to wish you a happy birthday. Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi.
Happy birthday to the city of Biloxi from all of us here at WLOX.
Here's to 320 years of making news and making history.
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi. We love you, and so does the family at Mary Mahoney's.
Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Grace McLaughlin, the 2019 Camilla Queen, wishing the city of Biloxi a very happy birthday.
On behalf of Treasure Bay Casino and myself, I would like to wish Biloxi a very happy 320th birthday.
I would like to wish Biloxi a big happy birthday today, their 320th year of history, heritage, and culture here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
We're going to celebrate like it's 1699, the year we were established. Biloxi, my hometown. Here's to 320 and many, many more.
From all of us here at Edgewater Mall, happy 320th birthday, Biloxi.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Biloxi. Happy birthday to you.
Hi, this is Kate Rushton, Queen Ixalib 2018 for Gulf Coast Carnival Association. I would like to take this opportunity and honor to wish the city of Biloxi a happy 320th birthday.
Well, Pierre, 320 years ago, you came to Biloxi. Something else, huh? Happy birthday, Biloxi. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Biloxi, from the East Biloxi Community Collaborative.
Hey Biloxi, Mississippi, this is Shayna Steele, and I would love to wish you a happy 320th birthday. Happy birthday, Biloxi, Mississippi. Love you.
Happy birthday, my beloved Biloxi, celebrating 320 years of awesomeness.
We're celebrating 320 years of Biloxi with Biloxi's favorite radio station, JZ 94.5.
This is Pat Wiley, Board President of Biloxi Main Street. Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi. We've got great plans for your downtown.
Our radio, and me and all my co-workers want to wish the city of Biloxi a very happy 320th birthday. Happy birthday! I heard there were cupcakes.
Happy 320th birthday, Biloxi!
To the city of Biloxi from Praise Temple Biloxi.
Happy birthday!
I am Biloxi. My foundation was laid by immigrants, hard workers who saved and bought schooners, built factories, and went on to serve Biloxi as doctors, lawyers, judges, and public servants. I am Biloxi. My ancient live oaks line beaches as long as my history. My waters abound with fresh seafood. I use any occasion to celebrate life here. I am Biloxi. Hundreds of thousands come to my shores to play, to shop. And when the sun goes down, the sky lights up with excitement. I am Biloxi. Men and women serve their nation here. Many decide to never leave.
I am Biloxi.
I am Biloxi.
I am Biloxi.
I am Biloxi. I am Biloxi.
I am Biloxi.
This is our Biloxi. If you like what you've seen so far, wait till you see what's next. Stay tuned.
Good morning. My name is Vincent Creel. I'm the Public Affairs Manager for the City of Biloxi, and I'm on the board for the Salvation Army of the Gulf Coast. We are here this morning to thank you for being here, and we have an important issue that we want to discuss. On pretty much any given day in downtown Biloxi, you can see a woman who, usually around noon, she starts walking in front of the Harrison County Courthouse as people are coming out, and she makes her way down to the foot of Lemieux Street. Her entire route is dictated by where she sees people. If she sees a person, she goes right to that person to ask them for money. You see it 3 or 4 times a week. Meanwhile, over at the I-110 off-ramp, right there at Bayview, we've had situations where people have actually set up tables, a table and a chair and an umbrella, where they go down there and they work that corner to ask people for money. You see it pretty much across the country at any given major intersection in any city that has a vibrant economy. There are no easy answers to the issue of panhandling. What we've found in Biloxi is we've tried to regulate it, we've tried to permit it. We also have to remember that this is a right of free speech. It is not against the law to beg. So what we're trying to do is come up with different ways to where we can make sure people are being thoughtful as they are approached by a panhandler. So what we're doing today is we're going to call forward the 2 majors from the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army has a lot of experience in dealing with the needy, dealing with the poor, and dealing with people who need help. What we're looking to do is do the most good here in Biloxi. We're looking to arm you with a tool that you can use when you're approached by a panhandler. So now, without any further ado, I'm going to call forward Majors Bradley and Anita Caldwell of the Salvation Army.
Greetings. We have come to the Mississippi Gulf Coast from Waco, Texas. And while we were serving there in the Salvation Army, there was a very unusual development where the television show Fixer Upper began to take on life. And the celebrity status of that show's store there in Waco, Magnolia, brought in tens of thousands of tourists over the weekend to come and see that little mecca for that reality show. And when that tourist population began to increase, panhandlers began to pour into that downtown from all over the place. And the Salvation Army wanted to help those people who were being confronted by panhandlers who didn't know what to do in that moment. And they didn't necessarily want to just give cash, they wanted to figure out how could they do something meaningful. And so we created the help card. And the card is designed to give people an informed choice when they meet that person. That they can, instead of giving them cash, direct them to services that will extend beyond the life of that dollar they might put in their hand.
Yeah, so in our 25 years of working with the Salvation Army, we have learned there are many different types of panhandlers and people who are asking for assistance. There is that person who has an addiction and who is seeking a way to get the funding that they need to be able to help their addiction. The second type is the person who actually has a beautiful home and car, and we call that a career panhandler. In Texas, the top dollar was $80,000 in my research. Here on the coast, we find and hear that we have one that's even making over $100,000. So there is tutorials. If you go and do the search online, you'll find the tutorial that shows you what you need, where you should stand, what clothing to wear, what words on your sign, and you should have a little dog with you if possible. So, and usually the panhandler has a 4.5 years that they've been doing this. When you and I see the sign for the first time, we think that they just arrived and they have nothing to eat. But no, they've generally been doing that 4.5 years. So, and then a very sinister group, I would say, is when one person gathers a group of 3 or 4 or even more. We've heard them here on the coast, and they control the people. And so they might drive up to a parking lot, 10 people get out of a van, they're all asking for the money, they get back in the van, the one person in that van is controlling that dollar. And that's a bit of a trafficking situation from my point of view. So, and then there's the real needy person. And really that is what this card is all about. That really needy person. Last year we found one young man who actually needed help to get home. And he had arrived in Texas seeking a prosthetic leg. Somebody stole that from him. And after some communication, he came to the Salvation Army. After some conversation with him, we called his mom. She was so happy to find him, and we were able to actually put him on the bus and get him back to his mom. So that is what this card is designed for. It does inform people, and we're happy to speak to any organization, any local civic club, any business about the types of panhandling. But then we would like to put these in the hands of anyone who would like a card, who would feel like that could really truly help a person who is in need find their way to that local social service agency that can help them. So that's the hope, and we thank you today for the opportunity to share this information with you and to give the community of Biloxi a way forward, and just one piece of the puzzle. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
There's one thing that I hope everyone remembers from this, and that is this. When a visitor comes into our community, they will see people on the street corner asking for money. The bottom line is we have a tapestry of services that are available here in Biloxi, Gulfport, Ocean Springs, D'Iberville. We have a number of social service agencies that provide meals, they provide clothing, they provide prescriptions, they provide a host of services. So what the goal with this card is to make sure we can connect the panhandler or the homeless person with the services that are available. We are not telling anybody not to give money, but what we are saying is sometimes when you give money, you may be contributing to the issue. You may be contributing to the problem. So the best thing that we can advise people to do is make an informed decision when you are approached by someone. Would that not be true? Do you want to expand?
That's exactly right. We certainly want to say that we're not against helping people. We're about helping people in the most useful way possible. And we tell people to follow your conscience, but the card also provides you an alternative to simply giving out cash. It's actually a way to guide people to services that will help them beyond your connection with them. And that's our hope.
Now the card, you will notice, this is not just a Biloxi issue. The card will take you to the Lord is My Help in Ocean Springs. It will also direct you to Seashore Mission on Division Street. It will direct you to Our Lady of Fatima, St. Vincent de Paul, where there's just an array of services available. And then you can go to Loaves and Fishes over on Water Street or to the Salvation Army over in Gulfport. So the services are there. It's not about the money. It's about hooking people up with the services that they need. And it's a level of comfort for John Doe citizen or John Doe visitor to be able to have that card if they choose to use it. So that's what it is. The card has no cash value. They're going to feed you when you go to one of these places. They're going to help you whether you have that card or not.
That's right.
But the big thing is the card helps direct you there. So that's all it is. It's an informed and thoughtful way to deal with the situation when you're approached by someone. We think it's simple. Right now, you can get the cards at the Biloxi Visitor Center. You can get them at the Croc Center. You can get them at
the Gulfport Outreach on 22nd Street.
Our goal is to make sure we can have as many restaurants, as many visitor-oriented places along the Gulf Coast to where they have these cards, to where a person can just pick it up off the counter and be able to use it.
And if your church or business wants to have the cards available, we can email you a template, a PDF template, where you can print and distribute them yourself. We don't own the card.
There is no simple answer to this, but this is another tool. Right now it falls in the hands of the police department. The police department is not equipped to deal with people who have addictions. They're not equipped to deal with people who have mental problems, but this card will help possibly direct them in the right place where they need to go. It's a team effort using existing services, and it comes with the experience that the Salvation Army has seen in other places. So with that, we're going to conclude the press conference. We're going to ask anybody if they have any questions, or the two majors will be available for interviews. Police Chief John Miller was held up in a meeting this morning, so he was not able to be here, but he is very familiar with this case and with this issue. Just so you'll know, Mayor Gillich has him tracking the number of contacts his officers have with homeless people or panhandlers. There are about 100 of them a week. Now that takes away from the police department, it takes away from the fire department when there's an emergency medical call, and quite frankly, it's a drain on city resources whenever we have to deal with these issues. We're looking to deal with them in a thoughtful manner that gives people the most information, so as the Salvation Army likes to say, so they can do
the most good.
The most good. That concludes everything. I want to thank you all for being here. And that's it. Anything else? No. Okay. Good enough.
As you know, it's hurricane season. At some point, you might have to evacuate.
Waiting until a hurricane warning has been issued is not the best time to pick a route. It's time to plan ahead, and that means taking alternate routes north. Everyone cannot evacuate using just Highway 49 north. That's why MDOT has mapped out more than 20 ways to evacuate to the north to get out of the storm's path.
Download the complete hurricane evacuation guide at gomdot.com and plan your way out today.
This is BTV, Biloxi Television.
As you know, it's hurricane season. At some point, you might have to evacuate.
Waiting until a hurricane warning has been issued is not the best time to pick a route. It's time to plan ahead, and that means taking alternate routes north. Everyone cannot evacuate using just Highway 49 north. That's why MDOT has mapped out more than 20 ways to evacuate to the north to get out of the storm's path.
Download the complete hurricane evacuation guide at gomdot.com and plan your way out today.